using evil for good. Regardless of Satan's activities in the world, we are to be assured that God can even use evil to accomplish His will. Here's Gene to explain this principle.
Going into chapter 9, we have the fifth trumpet. Now, the first four trumpets focused on physical destruction. This next trumpet takes us now from earth to heaven and into what are called, we might call, spiritual forces. We've looked at physiological forces, destruction. Now we move into the spiritual forces. The fifth angel blew his trumpet, and I saw a star. We don't know who the star was. Some believe this is Satan. Some believe it is certainly a demon, a very powerful demon, representative of Satan. But what John saw, he said, I saw a star that had fallen from heaven to earth. The key to the shaft of the abyss was given to him. And obviously we have figurative language here. We're not sure totally what all this means, except it's a place of evil. Remember that Satan occupies the principalities of the air and all of these areas. But also, we also know that there are demons that are God has in control. He opened the shaft of the abyss, and smoke came out of the shaft like smoke from a great furnace, so that the sun and the air were darkened by the smoke from the shaft. And then out of the smoke locusts came, obviously moving now into some very heavy-duty symbolism. The smoke locusts came to the earth. Power was given to them like the power that scorpions have on the earth. And they were told not to harm the grass of the earth. This is a new order here, because the grass of the earth has been destroyed in many respects. But now, this particular trumpet, they were not to harm the grass of the earth or any green plant or any tree, but only people who do not have God's seal on their foreheads. In other words, the unsaved, those who have rejected the Lord. And they were not, that is, these evil personages were not permitted to kill them, which is fascinating, but were to torment them for 5 months. And I believe that the 5 months there probably is literal. No reason not to take it literally in view of some other references to time. Their torment is like the torment caused by a scorpion when it strikes a man. Now, the symbolism here is very difficult to understand, except that I think we can conclude with certainty that this is definitely satanic oppression that is unprecedented on the earth. This is satanic oppression. Now, how much literalness is there? I don't know, and most people who study this don't know. But I think all of us would agree that indeed this is oppression, this is evil, this is satanic. Now, the interesting thing in this section, however, is that Satan is restrained. Now, Satan is restrained now. If Satan were not restrained now, imagine what it would be like. God is restraining Satan now. But here at this period of time, He is still restraining them, even though He is using these evil personages to judge people and to hurt people. And it almost sounds like he is punishing them just to see how much He can punish them. Let's give them another month, another 2. Let's give them 5 months of persecution and pain. But that's not what God is doing. What God said to these evil people, personages, don't kill them. What is Satan's goal? His goal is to kill every individual so they'll die without Jesus Christ. To send them into a Christless eternity. And God said, no. I'm going to use you to judge, but I'm also going to use you to one more time demonstrate my grace. I want them to have opportunity to believe. And if it takes persecution, pain, and hurt, it's worth it to bring them to their knees to repent. Now, unfortunately, many of these individuals did not repent, but many did and turned to God as a result of this judgment, as a result of this pain. So here God is using Satan to achieve His goals. of eternal salvation. And that's really what we read in Romans 8:28. It's a facet of that we know that all things work together for good to those who love God, those who are called according to his purpose. But if you go back to Genesis, in the story of Joseph, when his brothers came and thought that Joseph was going to take vengeance on them for what they did, he said, look, you meant it to me for evil, but God meant it for good. Now, how do you explain that? You can't, except God is God. And here, he actually is taking evil through these judgments in order to give people another opportunity to believe. Don't kill them. Why did God say that? Because he wants them to respond. And he uses satanic oppression to get their attention. Now, the reflection and response question is, though obviously a very rare situation among believers today, in what way is this principle illustrated in the life of the Apostle Paul? Here is a puzzling passage, but I think there's a correlation here. And frankly, I saw this correlation for the first time as I was studying this. Because remember that Paul was caught up into the third heaven. He was given these incredible revelations. And because what he saw was so incredible, God would not allow him to become prideful. So he did something that I think relates to this principle, which reads, 2 Corinthians 12, therefore, so that I would not exalt myself, a thorn in the flesh was given to me, a messenger of Satan to torment me. I have no idea what that is. All I know was that God used a messenger of Satan, an evil personage, to keep Paul humble because what he saw was so incredible that it took that kind of experience to stay humble. As I said, I don't think this is something that happens a lot. This might be one rare event in the New Testament. But here we see God using evil to accomplish good, because a messenger of Satan is evil. And he did it, Paul said, so I would not exalt myself. Concerning this, I pleaded with the Lord 3 times to take it away from me. But he said to me, the Lord said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for power is perfected in weakness. And therefore I will most gladly boast all the more about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may reside in me. So because of Christ, I am pleased in weaknesses, in insults, in catastrophes, in persecutions, and in pressures, for when I'm weak, then I'm strong. As I said, this is very rare, a rare situation, but I do think it illustrates this principle that we've looked at here in Revelation.